losing 30 points to 6 to Australia. Take the Aussies out, this would be a very competitive World Cup, but the world champions are here. So too is Benji Marshall, so too are thousands of England supporters inside the Energy Australia Stadium tonight. And Steve-O and Phil, they are all hoping and praying that tonight is the night that England's World Cup bid gets on track.
We cannot wait any longer. We have to perform tonight. It is a very simple equation. The players know. They don't have to be told. The media have absolutely crucified them in this country and also back home in England. They have to stand up. They know they've got to perform better. They've got to get into the faces of this New Zealand outfit. They can't allow them the space. And it's a big gamble by Tony Smith. Martin Gleeson only played at standoff for a couple of occasions, played very well against Wales when the build-up to come out of this World Cup. But I tell you what, he's going to have to really work hard tonight.
Well, we'll hear from Phil in a moment after the national anthems, and to sing the New Zealand national anthem first of all, it's Ray Bishop.
God of nations at thy feet, in the bonds of love we meet. Hear our voices, we entreat. God defend our free land. God Pacific's tribal star, from the shafts of strife and war, make her praises heard afar. God defend New Zealand.
They look very determined indeed. They lost in the first match to Australia, but they bounced back 48-6
Now to
to
perform
Papua
the
New
English
Guinea
anthem.
last week. Now the English national anthem. Please welcome Hugo Chiarella. Looking equally as determined, Phil Clark. This is a massive night for the fringe players who have come into this England team tonight.
Eddie, some games in Super League are won by individual brilliance. You will not lift the World Cup like that. It will be the best team, and neither New Zealand or England have looked like a united and fluent side in either attack or defence. I think it's about playing as a team, finding the combinations, the awareness and the organisation, particularly in defence out wide, knowing that the man on the inside and outside of you are thinking and acting the same way as you and moving in the right direction. And that's the biggest thing that I think both coaches will be looking for tonight, looking like a team at the end of 80 minutes.
Well, at the end of a week where we have enjoyed victories for Ireland and Scotland, albeit not today, Can England draw some inspiration from their earlier victories? But this is the intimidating haka. England have turned their backs on them for this. Well, they ignored them. They turned their backs and they ignored them. I wonder whether that will just poke a stick into the Kiwis' hornet's nest.
It's not a matter of how you just ignore them now. You can't ignore them for the next 80 minutes. They know that they are going to give them plenty of stick.
There were some voices raised in the England circle. Tony Archer is the referee tonight. He was the man in charge last weekend in the game that we endured against Australia. England will have the kick-off here, and let's hope that it is a vastly superior performance. Purdom gets England underway. It's a humid night here in Newcastle. Great chase from the kick-off. Early enthusiasm from the England forwards and Keith Senior. Jamie Jones-Buchanan leading the way, and he brought down Evang Tumavave.
It's what we need, Eddie. We've got to get really into their faces. We've got to make these Kiwis realise they're in for a tough encounter tonight. They've got to really play out of their skins, not only in defence but in attack, and it's pretty good so far.
Well, very early days, only 3 tackles gone. Benji Marshall not able to make any ground forward there. Thomas Luluai of the Wigan Warriors, the only Super League player in the Kiwi squad. He was the man at dummy half. There's Adrian Morley. Much is expected of him tonight, and here's the first penalty of the night. David Farlongo holding on, I thought, to the arm of Mickey Hyam as he tried to get away from that tackle. But well, Tony Archer, he sets his stall out early doors.
Yeah, but he's got to set his stall out right. He's got to set it out fair, and it was quite obvious that Mickey Hyam could not get his arm away. He was being held, and as far as I'm concerned, Tony Archer has been conned.
New Zealand are in possession. This is Adam Blair. That's a great hit there by Jamie Peacock and Adrian Morley. It's Luluai again. A drive forward here by Tumavave once more. Oh, well, we all remember the day in 2000 when it was 49-6 in the World Cup semi-final. That was a black day for John Keir and his team in 2000. Here they are now in the World Cup again, and they're in possession here with Jeremy Smith. They lose the ball.
That'll take the scrum, that'll take the heat out of it. New Zealand were looking pretty strong there. Not surprising their coach Stephen Kearney. I think England expected that New Zealand would just point the way right down the middle, use their big forwards. But we've seen already they're quite happy to get it out wide. The link has been utilised twice. But a big error.
Tactically, they've repeated what they did last week. Thomas Luluai knows number 7, but he's effectively playing both hooker in the scrum and dummy half at the play of the ball. Nathan Freen now, the man responsible really for the direction of the Kiwis. And that's probably an area that they lacked so much in their first game against Australia.
Great atmosphere inside the Energy Australia Stadium here in Newcastle. It is an industrial town on the New South Wales coast, and we have been likening it all week to a typical rugby league hotbed back home. And they will respond here, and they respond, and they get the penalty from Tony Archer. They were offside, the Kiwis.
Pretty good work by England there. Too quick play the balls. Got New Zealand in a lot of trouble there in the defensive pattern. Not a bad kick there from Rob Burrow. Obviously that will be his key. He will be taking those long kicks throughout this game.
Here is Jamie Jones-Buchanan now for England, attacking down this left-hand side. Matai was the man low down. Luluai in there as well. Hyam gets the ball away to Burrow. Burrow bullets the pass to Martin Gleeson. Looked good on his feet then, tried to go round Nathan Feen, but all the heavy artillery came in to bring him down. Still lying in the ruck. It is now England on the charge here, and that is Rob Purdom. It needed a desperate tackle there from Mannering to halt him. This is Hyam. Hyam for England. Early points for England from Mickey Hyam at dummy half. Perfect start for the English. England ahead by 4 points to 0. Mickey Hyam in his first top-flight international appearance in 3 years, aiming to make the most of it. What a start.
Wonderful play there by the hooker, making the big-time debut tonight, and he has really just stood up, and never mind being counted, he's got the first try of the game. And it came about by very good pressure from the forwards, none more so than the loose forward Rob Purdham. We've kept saying throughout this World Cup, Eddie, that England have to ask the questions. Mickey Hyam did, and New Zealand did not have the answer.
Great start for England, just what Dr. Tony Smith will have ordered. And Purdham with the conversion, that was academic. And England have raced into a 6-0 lead. What a confidence booster.
You know, we may have lacked some skill in this tournament so far, passing the ball out to the centre and wing, but there isn't an easier way than scoring. Pick up from dummy half, go hard, go low, and go with some determination to break through Mannering and Ohio to score. As we see Purdham put over, that's a 6-point start. Most impressive for me, though, so far, Jamie Peacock has stood up in a lot of international matches. He came up with a very important and significant tackle on Adam Blair from a restart. And if he can get on top of the Kiwi front row, that will set a massive platform of confidence for players like Purdham and Hyam here on the big stage.
Tony Archer waiting for a football to be brought on, or a kicking tee rather, to be brought on for the New Zealanders to restart the match. Seems a degree of confusion on the sideline as far as they're concerned. But Hyam, well, what a year, in fact, what a 3 years he's had at Wigan. 97 consecutive appearances for them. And that's a fantastic start.
Unbelievable, and he's taken the opportunity. How many times have we heard through the Super League season this year, Mickey Hyam not wanted at Wigan? The man has just got off the ground and said, I know I'm a good player. How good is he? He's scored a try. He's been selected. Full credit there to the coach, Tony Smith. He said that all get an opportunity.
Well, there's no kicking tee brought on for the Kiwis, and Benji Marshall gets them underway again. And here is Adrian Morley. And Adrian Morley, of course, the only man to win NRL, the only Englishman, rather, to win NRL and Super League Grand Finals. He is a massive favourite in this part of the world. And he has a word and a smile for everybody who comes up to him here, Australian or English. Big responsibility on the shoulders of Keith Senior and company here tonight as well. That's a good drive forward again from Morley to the 40-metre mark. Tackled by Jeremy Smith. Hyam is the dummy half. Here is Jamie Jones-Buchanan.
Well, we look a lot more industrious. We look as though we've got a lot more fire. There's a problem there for one of the Kiwis.
That's Simon Mannering.
He went in awkward. That could be a bitter blow by the Kiwis there.
Well, he's recovering his composure, Simon Mannering, and going back into the defensive line as this ball is driven forward once again. And that was Manu Vatuvei. There is Simon Mannering. He needs a bit of attention from the trainer. He's had a word on the run. Looks like he's all right. This now is Jerome Rapati. Luluai again is the dummy half. Gets the ball away, and here's Jeremy Smith once more. 6 minutes gone. England ahead. 6-0. Luluai again at dummy half. He was operating at acting half-back throughout the training session last night. Just alternating the role with the likes of Benji Marshall and Nathan Feen. A drive forward here by Tumavave. Takes 3 Englishmen to bring him down. They're 10 metres inside the English half of the field as Luluai again finds that man Vatuvei. His kick downfield will be picked up by Wellens. But look at the chase from the Kiwis. Vatuvei with the tackle. Calderwood in the corner for England.
Well, this is where now you need to put your hand up, be brave, be strong, and get the ball going forward. Find your front, find that quick play of the ball. Already 3 tackles gone. England still camped on the 10-metre line.
Rob Burrow clapping his hands at dummy half. This is Jamie Jones-Buchanan. He held on to it, and Senior goes past the first tackle and past the second tackle, and there are 4 up in support. Rob Burrow is one of them, and Rob Burrow is on his way to the line, and England get their second try. No emotion from Tony Smith, but Rob Burrow. It was the initial break from Keith Senior that caused all the damage. What a start for England. There was a ton of support for Senior's run. Burrow was the man who was on his shoulder. He got the pass. He might have been hobbling around the team hotel this week with a sore foot. Boy, what a start for England.
And what a fend-off here. Absolutely tremendous play by Senior. They can't afford to go high on him. He just pushed them away with ease. And Rob Burrow, like as every single halfback should do, they should make sure that they support back on the inside. Look at this, get away, get out of the way. You've got to go low on this fella. Unbelievable break. And then Rob Burrow completely finished it off.
Eddie, you know that yourself and Martin Offiah in the studio back in London questioned about the relaxation of the England camp. If you aren't relaxed, you can't play like that, and that's the fine line that all sides have to have. Confidence shattered in Melbourne, but if you aren't relaxed, you don't pass the ball and play like you do when you have the confidence of a winning side. Great to see them moving the ball in their own 20.
And Purdom adds the extras. 2 successful kicks for the Harlequin skipper. England are ahead by 12 points to 0. It's amazing what a week does to your spirits.
Well, here we go, didn't we? We've seen now a lack of support in earlier games. But I'll tell you what, England do look as though they've learned so much, maintained their confidence and composure, and are really up for this game. Okay, they're under pressure, but it's about reading and reacting to the situation, and the space was out wide. New Zealand have had trouble on their right flank defence. Matai and Luluai were targeted by Australia in the previous game, and I think England will continue to go to Keith Senior in this match.
This is Peacock for England, who lead 12-0. Hyam, the first try scorer at dummy half. Ellis will drive it forward for them. Hyam again at dummy half. Has a little jinking run. He does get away from Farlongo. That's the 4th tackle. England still inside their own half of the field. They're getting quick play the balls tonight. This is the difference. Getting up onto their feet, playing the ball quickly, despite the attentions of 2-3 defenders at times. Hyam to Burrow. Burrow with the left-footed kick.
Well, that still isn't much of an improvement from last week, Eddie. The kick wasn't the best, and there wasn't real pace, was there, or pressure on Ohio as he took the kick. Not enough white jerseys hunting down on him.
This is Nightingale now, and that was a high shot, I'm afraid, from Adrian Morley. Tony Archer was in perfect position to see that.
Just went in a little bit too lazy, hit the shoulder first, but that's the aggression that we were needing. We all know his style, Adrian Morley. He puts a lot of fear into the minds of the opposition. Okay, he's given away a penalty, but he has made his mark.
Howdy, boys.
Well, he has, but he's also gifted New Zealand about 40 metres downfield, and here is Steve Matai, who starts this latest attack from the New Zealanders, who, it must be said, in the opening 10.5 minutes, they have not really threatened the English line yet. It's Luluai. Now it's Nathan Feen. This is Simon Mannering.
The most important factor as far as England is concerned, the Kiwis are yet to make a clean break.
Luluai and Benji Marshall. Short ball. Important tackle low down that from Martin Gleeson. There was no way through there for David Farlongo. Marshall wide. It's Vatavai. England know the strength of this man. Look how many white jerseys were around him. Quick play the ball though. Marshall comes in field to Nathan Feen. Back it goes again. This is Lance Ohio. He just came a little bit too early to the New Zealand fullback. Opportunity was there on the inside pass. Luluai waits, dummy half. He finds Nathan Feen. He'll float the kick to the corner, looking for Nightingale. And Lee Smith just claims the ball in the in-goal area, defuses the bomb. England will start again on the 20-metre line.
How
controlled restarts in this World Cup, remember.
Yeah, but how controlled was that? Well taken, diffused the high kick, Lee Smith.
Glorious start for England so far. Bill.
Oh, fantastic atmosphere down on touchline, Eddie. Support for England tonight is even better than it was in Melbourne, and they've got something to cheer about at last. But many more supporters have flown in today. Speaking to them before the game, they're all a bit jet lagged, literally have got into Sydney and then come up here, but this has been the perfect tonic for them. They've come from all over, not just the north of England. There's supporters from Harlequins, from Essex, and they are loving it so far here tonight. Also in the crowd tonight, must give them a rap, because the England Wheelchair Rugby League team are here, and they have already got a win against Australia under their belts. They beat them 34-26 yesterday in the Wheelchair World Cup, and they are on their way to their final.
Thanks, Bill. Is this a forward pass?
Yes, it is. That was a little bit lazy there from Mickey Hyam. Though I must say, Jamie Peacock, the England skipper, gave Tony Archer a right rollicking there and said, you've got to be kidding. But I think we all saw on the replay that Mickey Hyam just a little bit lazy there.
No, it's England tonight, but Great Britain have faced New Zealand 13 times since 2000. Look at this fellow Rapati. Look at Rapati. He couldn't get the pass out wide. Wellens in the end did well. But that's the first tackle. There's danger here for England. Nathan Feen, Vatuvai. Impossible to stop. Absolutely impossible to stop is Manu Vatuvai. Yet to score in the World Cup before tonight, before that moment. And Vatuvai, they came in numbers. He just brushed them away.
Beautiful work by the hooker, Nathan Feen. He could see that they'd made the initial break. The first one, it was England that was really trying to get their defence sorted out. And the experience of Nathan Feen. He knew that they were a little bit exposed on that right-hand side. And he gets the big fella over. Vatuvai, look at the strength here. Upper body strength. It takes hours and hours of hard work in the gymnasium to get yourself a body like that, Eddie. I don't think you and I would ever get anywhere near, but what a sensational fight back.
I think it's a bit late for us, Steve-O, but I think Mr. Clark doesn't do bad.
Well, I think you could train for 50 years, and unless you've got the DNA, you'd never come up looking like that, you know. You don't need to question New Zealand's game plan for too long. If they get close to the England line, they're going to put the ball in his hands, if at all possible, because that's when he's most dangerous, 10 metres from the line. But I do think England's defence was poor there, Eddie. First, when they conceded the break, which Wellens saw off, but then not enough players got back on side quickly enough. There wasn't that urgency. Maybe they were drained from the missed tackles, but that was one that they could have done better to prevent.
And Matai has missed with the conversion, but the New Zealand are on the board. It's 12 points to 4, and Manu Vatuvai from the New Zealand Warriors. But this is where England were found a bit wanting with the Rapati's run.
Beautiful play, wasn't it, Rapati? Good position, though, by Paul Wellens. He forced himself, but when Feen decided to go on the blind side, Ellis tried to match him, couldn't. Simple as that. Big collision. He got the TRY. They're back in the game.
He's a man mountain, is Manu Vatuvai. He got a couple of tries against Great Britain in the win in Wellington in the Tri-Nations that we brought you from this part of the world 2 years ago. And well, he's had a fantastic season with the New Zealand Warriors as well this year. But the New Zealanders on the board, which will help their confidence, and tackling like that won't help England, but Matai just couldn't stretch the hand out and take the very difficult pass that he was presented with then. Had he taken it, I'll tell you what, there was no one at home for England.
Trying to force the ball really in an impossible situation, just couldn't reach out for it. Steve Matai, he's a real tough character, this fella. Has a bit of a problem with going headhunting.
Yeah, he missed the game against Papua New Guinea last week, suspended after a high tackle on Paul Gallen of Australia in the opener. And he has a little bit of a history between himself and Keith Senior. But look at this from Gleeson. Wonderful feet from Gleeson. And the momentum will get him over. Momentum gets Gleeson over, surely. The referee hands it upstairs to the video referee. He wants to check the grounding. But Gleeson, what about the step? What about the fend there? And has he managed to get over with momentum?
I think
they believe he has.
I think he has as well. Maybe he had the opportunity to pass there to Wellens. They tried to strip the ball away. Momentum, it proves also important, and that has got to be benefit of the doubt. But you know how that came about? Wonderful tactics by Tony Smith. Have a guess who was playing in the standoff position from the scrum win? The fullback, Paul Wellens. He'd put Martin Gleeson out into his normal centre position, and that created the ability. He just had to step and went through. Perhaps he could have had the opportunity with Wellens. I think this will be given.
There is a New Zealand hand underneath the ball there.
The ball's touching the floor, Eddie.
Well, you would think so, but how many times has he had to look at this now?
Well, they want to be certain. I think he was England's best player possibly in Melbourne last week, certainly in the back line. He sacked Greg Ingliston, which isn't an easy thing to do. He went round him once. I know they didn't score, but you get him one-on-one at this level.
Video referee decision pending. They said they've got a bit of different technology here. Makes it quicker. The try is given for England. The Barmy Army over on the far side get up on their feet and cheer the try from Martin Gleeson. The 12-point advantage is restored.
Super play. Outstanding. We were waiting in this World Cup to find out whether any of our side was going to really hit top form. They have tonight, that's for sure. And so is this fella.
Kicking well, isn't he, Rob Purdon? 17 minutes gone. England are scoring at a point a minute. 18-4.
There you see Wellens taking the normal position of standoff. Gleeson out in his preferred position of centre, and Momentum gets it over. Tony Smith must be very happy. He had a marvellous game against the Welsh, remember, in the build-up game at Doncaster. England run away with it, was not the best opposition, but you could see there that the skill factor that we have not seen in the opening two games has suddenly arrived.
Well, he was challenged to take on Benji Marshall, Martin Gleeson tonight, and so far he's winning on points.
It's a massive win. And what about the two big carries there from the kickoff? Morley's charged through a couple of tackles. Peacock's done the same. And look, England with 3 tackles are almost on the 40-metre line.
Little slip by Rob Purdon as the challengers moved in. This is Hyam. Now it's with Burrow just outside the 40-metre mark there. Not a good kick again. Straight down the throat of Jason Nightingale.
Good chase, though.
Good chase by Jamie Jones-Buchanan, Keith Senior.
It's an amazing thing, you know, when a coach just makes everybody aware. They say, OK, we're resting you. But even the rested players out there on the side of the pitch, Eddie, they'll be looking at these guys who have come in and they'll be saying, hey, hang on. The likes of Jamie Jones-Buchanan, Rob Purdon, they have shown up exceptionally well. And Paul Sykes is tackling like a demon.
Why is he given that?
You're too deep, mate. You got to be marker. He's not there.
He pointed it out. Jerome Rapati actually ran at the man, screamed at the official and said, you're offside, look.
Well, he said he was too deep, didn't he? As first marker, he had to be closer to the play of the ball. But he was stood in line.
He's a quick thinker, is Rapati.
So this is a little bit more danger for England here as Mannering takes it forward again. Halted, though, by Jamie Jones-Buchanan and Adrian Morley. Luluai's the dummy half. Switches the ball in field. This is Jeremy Smith. Good defence. Nicky Hyam low down. Rob Purdon up the top. Luluai twisting and turning. The English defence know all about Thomas Luluai, of course.
We've got to get our defence set out wide. That's where we've been vulnerable in this World Cup so far.
Luluai facing 3 Wigan colleagues here tonight. This is Lance O'Hire. Oh, Lance O'Hire has got that ball down, has he? It's going to be another decision, I think, for video referee.
This is the 4th. I just want to check the grounding on the second go. Not the I want to check the second one.
He wants to check the second grounding, he says. And I think he's happy that O'Hire didn't get the ball down first time. I think it was the second one.
I'm with you, Eddie. I don't think he grounded him the first. He got swung over on his back, but as he had the wherewithal to just dink it down. Ellis gets across, so does Welland. I don't think it's down there. But as he got down, oh, it looks as though he's got it down there.
Steve Clark, the Australian, is the video referee tonight. He's just having another look.
Short there, spinning. That's a try.
Should we be alarmed that twice that they have threatened England's line, it looks like they've scored tries?
Very alarmed, Eddie.
Yeah.
And again, it's out wide, Eddie, on that right-hand side. Both occasions we've been caught out of it. We're doing well in regards to the forward battle.
And it's all coming about this on the back of penalties that England are conceding as well. I
don't think that's a try, but that on the second occasion, the first put down, I think was short, and the momentum, to me, looks as though it's got over.
Well, that awful phrase, benefit of the doubt, comes to mind, doesn't it? If they're not sure, they just go benefit of the doubt. And they're still not 100% sure here, obviously. But the momentum, we talked about Gleeson's momentum, Phil, the momentum here is not stopped either. Yeah,
there isn't a conclusive shot, I don't think, to confirm a try, but you would have to award it really in the spirit and rules that you have in the game. Perhaps you can just about see it under his body there if you look very closely. And sometimes you have to accept if your opponent's passed the ball 5 or 6 times and offload it twice and score a try, that it's great play. But really, that was one pass, really, and one man just taking on the line. And defensively, That's not quite good enough, is it? It's not going to win you the World Cup.
Now here it comes. Stephen Clarke has looked and he's about to press the button, and O'Hire gets his try. And with the kick, well, fairly academic to come, you would think, for Steve Matai. We could be looking at 18-10 in a moment. Lance O'Hire, test debut 6 years ago. Another man who's had a fantastic year with New Zealand Warriors in 2008. And the New Zealanders, the one thing you can say about them, these Kiwis will not lay down and die tonight.
That is for sure. They will not go away. They have been hit by a good avalanche from the England guys. An 18-4 lead. Looked as though they were controlling the game. But as Eddie has already mentioned, the New Zealanders know how to dig deep. And they know also that we do have a problem out wide on the fringes, in the centres. It's been a problem all the World Cup so far. And when you've got the likes of Benji Marshall and the fullback, Lance O'Hire, and I mean, you must say that he's got that ability.
Well, Steve Matai missed with his first conversion attempt, and I must confess it's not quite as academic as I first thought, this. And Matai has missed it. So, he hasn't brought his kicking boots. England are ahead 18-8.
Well, that is a let-off, and he knows it's disappointing because when it comes late in the game, it could prove very crucial indeed. Nice dummy. It takes a special player to be able to step off both feet, and that is exactly what Lance O'Hire has done. Step there, step there, step there. That's quality. They tried their damnedest. Did Wellens and Ellis, couldn't stop him.
Lance O'Hire is a fairly impressive goal kicker as well, by the way. He scored 11 goals for his country, as well as Matai. They have a few others who can kick a goal. Marshall has even got a goal against his name for the Kiwis. So they have a few options. Isaac Luke, who's coming off the bench later on, perhaps, and Jeremy Smith also. Kickers available. Wonder how long Stephen Kearney and Wayne Bennett, who is assisting Stephen Kearney in the coaching duties for New Zealand. I must say it's unusual to see Wayne Bennett in the black of the Kiwis, and he even said when I spoke to him in the week this week that he has to sort of almost pinch himself when he looks in the mirror. But with him and Dean Bell also in the back room for New Zealand, it's a formidable backroom outfit. It really is.
Last one, Marcus.
Mind you, there's nothing wrong with Tony Smith and Steve McNamara for England either. That's Nathan Feen with a kick into open space between Calderwood and Wellens, and Calderwood has to collect it near his own try line. The chase is magnificent. It was led by Jerome Rapati. Here is Wellens again, a stuttering little run as he approached the would-be tacklers. They get him in the shape of Falongo and Smith. Now Gareth Ellis. There's a relieving penalty. That's a relieving penalty for England.
It certainly is, and we needed that as well, because the New Zealand defence, they've been buoyed by the fact that the fullback has just scored the try, and they certainly needed it.
There's Isaac Luke waiting to come on. The man that TV pundit Phil Gould thinks New Zealand should build a team around, and yet the 21-year-old from the South Sydney club is still on the bench, named on the bench, and is still sat there after 23 minutes or so.
We should feel pretty comfortable at the moment. Look forward. In fact, the Kiwis stopped. We're looking very, very good indeed.
New Zealand with the greatest share of possession at the moment. That could have been forward as well. Purdom.
The thing is, our forwards are getting over the advantage line, especially the hard work from Morley and Peacock.
Here's Hyam. Oh, that's a mistake from Wellens.
Oh, he knows it too. Golden opportunity.
We don't have any stats, Eddie, that measure passing accuracy, because it's impossible to say what the perfect pass should be. Almost immeasurable. But I would have to say that, again, in this tournament to date, our passing accuracy has been inferior to that of Australia particularly, and maybe even New Zealand in this game so far, as we're going to see Greg Eastwood in number 15, the future Leeds Rhino, enter the field.
We are indeed, and we've already seen Ben Westwood come into the fray. He too is wearing 15. There he is, packing down in the front row of the scrum. And with Mari Farsavalu having to enter hospital in Brisbane next week for an operation on an injured hand, Westwood and Langley, and that's a first good tackle from Ben Westwood. They'll have to stand up and be counted in the prop forward positions. We're only left with 3 specialist props at the moment. As Tuimavave comes off to be replaced by Greg Eastwood. The kick downfield from Nathan Feen, and he finds touch very close to the England goal line. Of course, the Kiwis are still smarting from that series whitewash that Great Britain completed against them last year for the first time in 14 years. And it comes almost a year to the day, this match, since Tony Smith's Great Britain won 44-0 in Hull to wrap up that series. It was 8 tries to 0 that night, November the 3rd, 2007.
Shorty. Ball in.
Nathan Finn standing out of the scrum, and Thomas Lulawai lining up at hooker.
Well, for the first time in this World Cup, the players out there, we know what they've been capable of. It's been a Super League season throughout. And those new players that they put through, and Mickey Hyam, that's wonderful play.
Yes, Mickey Hyam and Ben Westwood on his shoulder. Warrington fans will be looking forward to seeing that next year. Here is Hyam again, and a great run from him. He gets the penalty because New Zealand were lazy in defence.
All brought about by wonderful work by Mickey Hyam. Quick play the ball, he scoots away. He's been doing that throughout these first 25 minutes.
Another new face for England. Jamie Langley is on the field. There's Paul Sykes. All the players now, all the 23 fit players left for England, left standing. They've all had a game. That's Calderwood. Almost pinched one, so close to the line. Hyam, he pinched one from this position before. Decides this time to give it width to Burrow. Here is Purdom. But England looking a lot more inventive tonight.
And confident, Eddie. That's the most important factor.
Here's Morley. 3 tackles gone. England, though, not trading any ground forward. Here they come again with Burrow. He finds Gleeson. Gleeson to Wellens. That's a big hit by Matai. And they pile in behind him, Nightingale and Nathan Fee. Burrow, a little scamper, finds Westwood. Westwood asks a couple of questions down the middle. That's the last, though, for England. Camped underneath the Kiwis' post. The kick from Burrow has to be good. Here it comes. Oh, he's chinked his way through. Wonderful try, Rob Burrow. Second try of the night for Rob Burrow. I think the New Zealanders were waiting for the kick from Rob Burrow as well. And Burrow just opened them up with ease. Scampered over, dived for the line. 22 points to 8. Good morning, England. Have a look at this.
Superb play. And this is what he's capable of. At the start of the Super League season, this man, Rob Burrow, was continually doing this. How many times have we said in this World Cup, ask a few questions, fellas? Well, they're certainly doing that. That was a wonderful individual effort there by Rob Burrow. And boy, are the rest of the team happy.
Well, so they should be. Burrow's second try. He was man of the series in the 2007 tests against New Zealand last year. He's picked up where he left off. He had an injured toe, apparently, a cut or something on the toe. It was very painful for him. And, well, I hope he gets a cut on his toe every week if he plays like this, Phil.
What was most impressive for me in that set of tackles there was the direction that Rob Burrow gave to his team throughout. He made sure that they were going in the right direction, and then on the last play he still had the composure to think, what do I do best at this game? It's take on the opposition. New Zealand pushed up a little too fast. He recognised that, stepped inside Adam Blair, and then just pushed hard, went low and dived over for a second score.
When you come up against a prop forward like Blair coming at you, you've got the confidence. He's got the skills as a little halfback Burrow. He said, I can beat you, and he was over the line before they could blink.
Westwood will drive it forward again for England. 24 points to 8. 28.5 minutes gone. They were calling this a dead rubber. Well, England against New Zealand will never, ever be a dead rubber. And for these players here tonight, they are out to give Tony Smith a few selection problems ahead of the semi-final in Brisbane in a week's time.
I think they've already done that. Oh, that is a big hit. And Eastwood just says, OK, I'll play the ball.
Here's Langley. Let's go down to Bill on the last tackle here for England, Bill.
Eddie, it's a remarkable performance this from Rob Burrow, because he was in trouble at the start of the week as he puts that kick in, and that's a better one. He cut his foot when they went to the beach for a supporters function. They went to meet some fans who are over here, and he was on the beach and just cut his foot open on a shell, and there was a really nasty deep gash in it, so much so that he, at one point during the week, he was actually on crutches to keep the weight off that foot. Saw him at the hotel yesterday, and he was really favouring that left foot, and so for him to be out there and performing like this is a real testament to the efforts of the England medical team, you have to say.
Yes, well done, Chris Brooks and all of his staff, and there's a problem there for Steve Matai. Went into the tackle awkwardly, looks like he's got a shoulder problem here. I think the signals come out that he's finished for the time being. The referee wants Matai taken from the field before play can resume. This would be a massive blow for the Kiwis, this.
He went in very awkward into the tackle and was spun around, and I think the sheer weight of his body impacting onto the ground.
I think Eastwood actually, Steve-O, that's Eastwood, isn't it, there on the top? I think he caught him as well. He's clutching, look, he's clutching the shoulder. Yep. Major problem here. The signal's already come out that he won't be able to carry on.
It's the non-tackling shoulder which seems strange, unless his head got bent to the side, and it's sort of related to the neck as well at that point, and maybe that's the reason why the referee's been informed this could be a potential spinal injury, and we do need to stop the game and have him attended to.
He's a massive talent, is Steve Matai, and they want the stretcher bringing on by the looks of things, so this is a critical moment of the World Cup for New Zealand and for Steve Matai.
Well, safety first is the most important thing. The trainer, the doctor got to him, and they want to make sure that they don't move him. Try to just keep him relaxed. When you see injuries like this, it's something that we forget about the game. This is the most important factor. And I think he tried to swing the arm, and yet...
I think it is the neck. I think Phil's really absolutely spot on.
You can feel in there, and the one good thing is that whilst he's been attended, I have seen the fingers move. He's also been moving his feet.
His head's pushed, isn't it? It's almost like the right ear goes down towards the right shoulder, and he has got pain, but we have seen the movement in his hands and his feet. But I guess if there is a spinal injury, then they must make sure that he doesn't move at all now, and if there's a displacement of the bone, which could further exacerbate that problem.
Well, we've obviously got a fairly lengthy break in play here as Matai is placed into a neck brace, and I know that Paul Cullen and Martin Afire are watching in our studio in England as Stephen Kearney watches anxiously on here, taking nothing away from the seriousness of this particular situation for the Kiwis, gentlemen. What a start for England.
Superb, Eddie. We've answered the question, we've had it answered for us. Who's going to kick the ball for England? It's been Rob Borough, left foot, mainly down that short side. Hasn't been that accurate, but it's far, far better than it was against Australia. And that's allowed England to be playing this game at the right end of the field. And the chase has been absolutely superb. So the kick isn't brilliant, but the chase is making up for it. And England have been very, very aggressive into that tackle. Lots of numbers, and we've been counting 7, 8, 9 seconds in collision. And that's allowing England just to get themselves back set in the line, because they're defending at the other end of the field very well. And as we've seen, what they don't want to be doing is defending their own try line. The Kiwis have only been down there a couple of times, and they've scored virtually every time that they've been down there. So that's the key to it. Keep on with that completion, the big kick, the even better chase, and tackle New Zealand in their own quarter.
Also been very impressed with Martin Gleeson, playing at 6. There were some question marks whether we haven't seen much kicking from him, we must say, but great line break there to score his try. Also Senior and the outside back seem to be a lot more confident. I don't know what it is about this England side today. I question whether they should have been as relaxed as they seem to be, but as Phil Clark said, they seem to be passing well, the backs are getting into it, and confidence, I think, is the big word that I've seen. This team just seems to be a lot more confidence. They seem to have got Australia out of their system, and they're on to a new day.
Indeed so. I think you're right, Martin, you're right, Paul. It's a question of that confidence coming back into the side. That these players who are out there tonight, Steve-O, for England, they've got absolutely everything to gain, and after the defeat in Australia last week, nothing to lose.
Well, a lot of people suggested that Tony Smith shouldn't make any changes.
You were one of them.
No, I said they.
No, you were right. No, Phil was one of them. No,
I said that
right.
we needed to change because we needed to stir up the hornet's nest. We want to make sure that these guys who thought, well, you know, I'll be selected, all of a sudden, those guys down there, they'll have a little bit of doubt and they'll be saying, hey, come on, we've got to fight for our position. You've got to fight all the time. Whenever you pull on your international jumper, it's not just about the pride it's there. It's you want to prove that you're the best in the world. And quite frankly, all the new guys that are trotted out tonight, they've done just that, especially Mickey Hyam. I think Mickey Hyam has been absolutely outstanding.
Let's not get carried away, though. At the moment, the scoreline probably exaggerates this game at the moment. It's 4 tries to 2, but England have kicked 4 from 4, and New Zealand haven't managed to convert either of their 2 tries. So, you know, we've been good, we've been improved, but I think there's still only half an hour of this game gone and a long way in this tournament to go.
Stephen Kearney is obviously very, very concerned, and as indeed we all are about Steve Matai. The ambulances, of course, are on the sideline if they feel that further medical checks are needed. The important thing is they're keeping asking him whether he can move his fingers on both hands, and he can. But when you think of the stars that New Zealand are having to do without here today, they have got an endless list of stars who can't be here. And Matai, I know, as Kidwell is there on the field now. Matai, I know, he's one of their aces. There's no question of that. Matai, Rapati, Vatavai, they're the 3 danger men.
And not only, especially with Matai, he's a rough character.
So is he, by the way, Kidwell.
Oh, don't worry. This is not over by a long shot, and they'll understand that. And it's going to be important. And Tony Smith will be getting the message out now. Stephen Kearney looks very, very concerned, and he's every right to be. Not only just with the scoreline, but, you know, let's hope that Steve Matai will be okay. Everything has to be under precaution, and that is exactly what they're doing. But I think Tony Smith will probably be getting the message out and saying, listen, fellas, concentrate. It's a little bit like when you scored a try and you celebrate, and what happens? You come up with an error from the kickoff. He's got to keep them focused all the time. Look and control it out there.
And it's probably worth pointing out at this point why we see a potential spinal injury that the Benevolent Fund, which we've supported on Sky all year, and Engage have sponsored with their man of the match, actually have supported 2 players, former players who were injured playing amateurably league back in England, to come out and watch this World Cup. Jimmy Gittins from Wakefield and Pete Stevenson from Hull are out here with this army of English supporters, and that's all courtesy of the Benevolent Fund. So anybody who's contributed in the past or might contribute in the future knows that they're helping people who've suffered whilst playing the game, but are still managing to get some enjoyment from the sport.
Yes, the money that is raised by the Benevolent Fund and all the charitable organisations goes to a wonderful cause. And he gets a great round of applause here. Does Steve Matai as he leaves the field with his fingers twitching. I mean, I'm no medical man, Phil, you know more about this than me, but that, I think, it is a fairly good sign, isn't it?
Fingers crossed it's a good sign at the moment. He looks to be in the best possible care. It's almost as if 2 teams have both had a half time now, and you have to start again with your focus and concentration as Matai's led away to the ambulance.
Well, he leaves the scene, and that would be checking on his condition as Eastwood drives the ball in here for New Zealand. But you're right, that I think the game must have been stopped there 6-7 minutes. And as you say, we've almost had half time after half an hour. And it's now how the 2 sets of players maintain their concentration. There's a penalty for New Zealand. Purdon.
You've got to go the other side.
All over the top of the grounded player.
Well, Tony Archer, the official, is saying that once you've done the tackle, you should roll away on a certain side, knock back over the man carrying the football. I think on a couple of occasions, they've gone for the power play, not for the kick.
Yeah, quick tap by Benji Marshall, gave the ball then to Jeremy Smith. England had retreated about 20-25 metres away from where the penalty was given.
It's important now that we keep our defence pretty solid. It's been good down the middle. They have not made a break down the middle, and this is where we've got to really think, focus hard.
Good hit there by senior on Bronson Harrison. Here's this man, Isaac Luke. This is Lance O'Hire. That's 4 tackles that England have withstood after that penalty. Isaac Luke is the man at dummy half. He's replaced Thomas Lulawai. There's Eastwood. Here now is Jeremy Smith once again looking to spin and get the ball away. Last tackle 10 metres out, but bang under the England post. Isaac Luke again. Benji Marshall drifts the kick in. I was going to say that's far too deep. But Wellens was taking no chances, and England will get a goal line dropout. That looked as though it was going over the dead ball line.
I know, but there are times, Eddie, where you've got to say Paul Wellens has been a little bit shaky in this World Cup. It's all about, I'm not going to take a gamble. We saw that on a couple of occasions already in the World Cup, where you just look and hope that the ball's going to go through, and what happens? They come up and score. He did the right thing.
Goal line dropout for England then. And it gets to the halfway line, and here is Eastwood, who will drive it forward once again. The man bound for Headingley and the Leeds Rhinos. Wayne Bennett said that Super League fans will enjoy seeing this fellow next year. Silky skills is the phrase he used. This now is Bronson Harrison from the West Tigers, who of course will have Gareth Ellis in their ranks next year. Isaac Luke to Benji Marshall. Benji Marshall gets the ball away. Impossible situation. Morley gobbles it up. Benji Marshall has not had the World Cup we all expected of him thus far.
No, he was trying to offload. I think perhaps it's a big mistake allowing the youngster Benji Marshall to take the responsibility of being the captain of the Kiwi side. Sometimes, you know, it can really affect a man's game.
Eddie, we've spoken about the confidence from the England side. You gain confidence when you defend your try line. Paul Wellens may have forced a goal line dropout by taking the ball over the dead ball line, but they've built some confidence there. They've seen off a goal line threat from New Zealand. That's how you build a game.
And Hyam gets the kick away. Lance Hyam moves across there to pick it up on the bounce. Great chase though by England, led by Paul Sykes and Rob Purdon.
And what a sandwich it was. They're putting some beef into these tackles.
Morley taking a breather. Very humid night here in Newcastle this evening, as Jason Nightingale goes down under that challenge from the English captain Peacock. Here's Isaac Luke again. Good defence so far from England.
You talk about the fact that Mickey Hyam has played well in open play, Eddie. You know, he's already done 15 tackles. He's working overtime.
Jeremy Smith goes down on tackle number 5 for New Zealand, just inside the English half of the field. Isaac Luke again, he gives it then to Nathan Feen. Feen will push the ball in behind the defence, and that's a poor kick. Looking a little bit short of ideas at the moment, New Zealand, not wanting to tempt Providence, but they are.
That's been brought about, Eddie, with the fact that there is a lot of gang tackles in there. They're working overtime, they're working as a unit. It's something we have not seen. It will be very pleasing for that man, Tony Smith.
Here's Westwood again. Gets to his feet, plays the ball here to Gareth Ellis. Now it's Gleeson. And they nullify the threat of Gleeson with the 3-man tackle. Hyam finds Wellens. Wellens helps it on further wide to Ellis. It's a good run from Ellis. That's tackle number 4 though, 10 metres inside the Kiwis half. Hyam with another punishing run, gets the ball wide to Calderwood. Calderwood has support inside. Not tackled Wellens. Not tackled Wellens, now he is.
Oh, he nearly had a golden opportunity to go for a second break there.
Oh, and he's hurt as well as Paul Wellens.
Beautiful play by Mickey Hyam on that short blind side. Calderwood knew he was going down the alleyway. Got crunched the first occasion and then really got hammered as they put him into the corner flag.
Limping his way back into the field of play is Paul Wellens. England just a little bit short in defence at the moment.
Well, that'll be a bitter blow because we've seen Wellens back at his best tonight.
He's moved out to the wing at the moment, and Mark Calderwood has dropped back to full back.
But how smart was that play from Mickey Hyam?
It's a penalty here for New Zealand. Let's go down to Bill, News and Matai.
Yes, Steve Matai, the word is that it's a trapped nerve in the neck that's causing the problem, and he went into the game, of course, with a shoulder problem, which he had during the final series, glorious final series for the Manly Sea Eagles. He's gone into this game apparently having had a pain-killing jab, and it was hopefully precautionary that he was stretched it off, but the word is it is a trapped nerve.
Here come the Kiwis again. A long ball wide to Nightingale, and Nightingale gets over. He got over the top of Burrow. They are making hay on the back of England penalties, New Zealand tonight. And Jason Nightingale, his World Cup debut, but the third time he has worn the colours of New Zealand. A couple of tries against Tonga in a warm-up match, and they beat England up the middle and then managed to get the ball wide.
Beautiful play by Harrison, should I say. Then Smith and the long ball out wide. You just see, that is a great finish. Look at this ball from Bronson Harrison. Superb stuff. Good support play. Oh, that is tremendous stuff. And Nightingale, what a finish. Burrow couldn't get to him in time. They will not go away. It's something that the English lads did not want to have just before the half-time break. They were controlling this game at 24 points to 8. And what a vital kick this will be.
And it's Isaac Luke who will take it. Man from South Sydney, 21 years of age. Matai, of course, the kicker tonight to start the game, hasn't kicked a goal yet, but that fellow has. Isaac Luke. And it's now 24-14, and England with problems with Paul Whelan's bill.
That's right, Eddie. He has left the field, gone straight to the dressing room. It looked like a knee injury, but it was hard to tell as he quickly went down the tunnel. So a bit of rejigging for England. Kevin Sinfield is on. It's a question of who's going to drop back to full back for Tony Smith's side, whether Paul Sykes will go there or Lee Smith.
Well, Lee Smith, of course, won the Man of the Match award in the grand final for the Leeds Rhinos, so he would be the obvious candidate, I think.
That's a big warning to England as well. That was a superbly worked try. The support play and the offloads were quite superb.
24-14. We have 2.25 minutes to half-time. New Zealand with ball in hand here with Eastwood.
Passes forward.
And it's a forward pass that Tony Archer has been told about here by his touch judges.
Up here, boys.
Well, this is an opportunity now for England to launch something from the scrum win. And I think he's got it right. They delayed the pass. Now we saw the wonderful ability that before they had Wellens dropping in to stand off. Gleeson went out wide. Now it's Ellis that's taking that position, but that's better defence by the Kiwis.
Well, Ellis is playing right centre now, Eddie, with Sykes on the right wing, Calderwood over on the left with Senior, and Lee Smith is the full back, so that's how he's shaped up the back line. Last chance to attack here before half-time.
They have to be multi-skilled, don't they, these days, these stars of rugby league. And here is Jamie Langley. Some of these players, like Purdom and Langley, have not played for quite some time. Gleeson, infield it goes to Sinfield. And Sinfield with a little half break, but just hauled down by Isaac Luke once again. Now it's Peacock. Jeremy Smith low down, Eastwood over the top. They're a metre away, England. Coming up to half-time. Ellis stands, gets the ball away, flicked on, picked up by the Kiwis in defence.
Knock on.
Oh, the referee's
Knock
picked
on
them
New
for a
Zealand.
knock on by New Zealand here.
Back.
England will hurry and form the scrum.
Hey,
They were fortunate to get away with this.
Hey.
They didn't really need to panic with that. It went backwards off Iron, and I think the officials got it spot on. Just a little bit of a bobble there.
I don't think Rob Burrow helped Gareth Ellis there, throwing him the ball in that position. The ball had to go to Sinfield.
Well, it's a chance. England have got 30 seconds remaining of this first half. They have
Wait. I will
head
tell
and
you when to
feet
put
at
it
the
in. I've
scrum.
told you straight on.
And the referee is on the back of Rob
Time back
Burrow
on.
here.
Ball in.
Ball in now, he says.
Well, we should have the luxury of two play the balls, but they've gone for the kick. I think
have-
they've gone a bit too early.
Gleeson with the kick. Benji Marshall picks it up. He's trapped in goal. He knows that. England know that as well. Marshall runs over the sideline. It's a goal line dropout coming up here. And New Zealand will take all the time in the world. The referee might just call time off. They might just have one tackle remaining. 10 seconds to go. He hasn't called time off yet, Tony Archer. The siren will sound. There it is. Well, the referee waved the white flag as well. Maybe he should have called time off there, but there is no definitive time indication for the referees to use in the situation in this World Cup.